The girl noticed something strange on the street. That beggar looked just like her boyfriend, who had disappeared 2 years ago. She desperately ran after him. But no matter how hard she searched, that familiar back was gone forever. She couldn't accept this. Her heartbreaking cries filled the small room. She cried until she was physically sick, nearly passing out, but no answer ever came. They first met in an awkward situation. On his first day as a guard, John saw something strange. A girl brought him a lot of food. John was surprised by all the food. Emma realized she had the wrong person and awkwardly took her things back. But the heavy rain outside stopped her from leaving. Seeing Emma waiting alone in the rain, John felt bad for her. So he invited her inside to wait out the storm. During this time, John realized Emma was blind. A casual glance from Emma made John's heart race strangely. It was his first time feeling this way. To thank him, Emma gave him the kimbap before leaving. She specially told him to enjoy it. After getting home, he took one bite and was instantly captivated. He had never tasted anything so delicious. Happy, he even shared some with his pet turtle. That night, he tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. He was eagerly waiting to see Emma again. Sure enough, Emma came back the next day. As soon as she sat down, she noticed a strange smell. John was immediately embarrassed. He quickly put on his old, worn-out shoes. Emma didn't mind and kept talking about the TV show. She laughed when she learned her earrings were just like a famous actress's. When leaving, John returned her lunchbox. Then they introduced themselves. Seeing her outstretched hand, John was too nervous to move. It was his first time holding a girl's hand. He shyly pulled his hand back after a brief touch. But that short contact warmed John's lonely heart. After that, John started paying more attention to his hygiene. Before Emma's visits, he'd air out the room and even got new shoes. After preparing, he'd close his eyes and listen for her cane tapping. As the sound got closer, the picture of her in his mind grew clearer. But this time, Emma sensed something was wrong as soon as she entered. John felt embarrassed again. They listened to the TV like usual. John would sneak glances at her. Emma was often moved by the show's story. After saying goodbye, Emma headed home. Suddenly, a car rushed out from behind. Startled, she accidentally knocked over some bottles. John saw this and ran to check on her. He felt terrible seeing how scared she was. John took her to the hospital immediately. Luckily, Emma only had minor scratches. This unexpected event brought them closer. John walked her all the way home. Since her leg hurt, he offered to carry her upstairs. Emma smiled playfully and agreed. She carefully put her hands on his shoulders. Under the dim streetlights, their two lonely shadows merged. They slowly climbed the petal-covered stairs. Though John was breathing heavily from the effort, thinking of the girl he liked gave him strength. Emma kept giggling behind him. Then, a mischievous kid poked John from behind. After that little incident, he finally got her to her door. He later helped unclog her drain. Pulling it out, he found a pair of squirrel-patterned underwear. Emma, embarrassed, quickly grabbed them away. To thank him, she gave him 2 concert tickets. John couldn't hide his happiness, and neither could Emma. They were both excited for their upcoming date. Emma even got a popular perm. She put on lipstick, something she hadn't done in ages. She wore her favorite dress, saved for a special day. After using her last drop of perfume, she waited for John. When he saw her, he was completely stunned. She was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. They went to the concert hall together. John's eyes never left Emma. Afterwards, they went to a nice restaurant nearby. Emma asked what he did when he was younger. This brought back dark memories for John. He told her sharply to mind her own business. His words hurt Emma deeply. She explained she just wanted to know him better. But John said he didn't want to talk about the past. Disappointed, Emma made an excuse to leave. Realizing he'd been too harsh, John apologized and opened up after walking her home. But Emma firmly closed her door on him. After that, John still worked as a guard, but Emma never visited again. They were like a firework, bright and intense, but fading quickly. John felt distracted in the following days. Emma had unknowingly planted a seed of love in his heart. He wasn't used to life without her. He confided in a friend, but his friend was upset about John disappearing years ago. Faced with these questions, John stayed silent. Then he slowly told the truth. Years ago, to earn more money, he became a debt collector. One day, he cornered a man who couldn't pay. The man, hopeless, set himself on fire and jumped. John was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Luckily, the man survived. To atone, John visited him regularly. A nurse noticed his guilt. She kindly gave him a hair clip. Talking with the nurse, John found new courage. He decided to give this gift to the girl he loved. As Emma was heading home, a voice called out. It was her creepy boss. For years, he had harassed her. To keep her job, she endured it quietly. But her silence only made him bolder. Inside, he showed his true colors. Emma tried to resist, which made him furious. A loud noise scared her, but he kept advancing. In panic, she pulled a personal alarm. This made him even more violent. At that critical moment, John arrived. Seeing this, he lost control. He unleashed his rage on the boss. The fighting noises frightened Emma. But John couldn't stop. He stared at this monster, his anger burning. Still, he only broke one of the man's fingers as a warning. Afterwards, he went to Emma. Seeing his loved one so scared, he wanted to comfort her. But being awkward, he didn't know how. Emma thought he just pitied her. Before leaving, John left the gift on the table. During Emma's recovery, John was always nearby. Emma started to sense this quiet, protective presence. Finally, one evening, she went to the guard post. She told John she had quit her job. She asked if he could take her out this weekend. That day, John had a surprise for her. A puppy. He hoped it could protect her if he wasn't around. Then they drove to the seaside. The ocean witnessed their love. A pebble became their token of commitment. In a golden field, they promised to be together forever. John wished time could stop right there. Emma was like a light, clearing away the darkness of John's past. For the first time, he had direction in life. He worked hard to give her a better life. No matter how tired he was, coming home to her made it all worth it. He even found time to renovate their home. He removed anything that might be dangerous. This was the first time Emma felt such warmth. Her fingers gently traced John's face. She was memorizing the face of her beloved. The mood was perfect. Overwhelmed with emotion, John kissed her. Nothing could separate them now. For a while, John made money fighting. Emma took care of their home. Their small place was always filled with laughter. It was the happiest time of their lives. Since fighting hurt him, Emma learned to massage his aches. John worried she might be bored at home. He suggested they start a small workshop. She could make dishes and vases, and he would deliver them. But fate had another twist. Emma introduced John to her parents' portrait. She said if they were alive, they would bless them. This made her recall the accident. That day, she was traveling with her parents. At a crossing, she saw a man on fire falling from a building. In that moment of shock, a truck hit them. The crash killed her parents. She survived, but lost her sight. John was horrified. That man was the one he was collecting debt from. If not for his actions, the man wouldn't have jumped. He believed he caused his love's family tragedy. Back home, he punched a sandbag relentlessly. His fists bled, but he didn't stop. Why was life so cruel to him? Returning later, he found the house a mess. Emma was missing. He knew something was wrong. He found her in the hospital. The doctor had news. Emma's eyesight could actually be restored. But if they waited, she would be permanently blind in a month. John desperately wanted her to see again. But the cost of the surgery was huge. To get the money, he went to his old loan shark. The man agreed, but only if John fought in an underground match. John knew it was extremely dangerous. He could easily die. But for Emma, he agreed without hesitation. He found Emma and convinced her to get the treatment. She worried about the cost. After his patient persuasion, she finally agreed. The night before surgery, Emma dreamed of the future. She hoped the first person she'd see was John. Before going into surgery, she said a reluctant goodbye. She didn't know this would be their last meeting. Though heartbroken, John knew he had to do this. To protect her, he had to disappear. He burned all traces of himself at home. Then he left for a foreign country alone. They took him to a dark basement. People died here every day. Life meant nothing to them. Seeing the huge metal cage, John felt fear. But he wasn't afraid of losing the fight. He was afraid of never seeing Emma again. His opponent was much bigger, and John was quickly overpowered. The gamblers all bet against him. They thought the outcome was obvious. Even beaten half to death, John never gave up. He had to live. His love was waiting for him. Holding on to this thought, he kept getting up. Finally, at the last moment, he landed a winning blow. John won the fight. But they didn't pay him the full amount, as promised. They forced him to smuggle a diamond for them. John had no choice but to agree. On the road, he called the hospital. Hearing her surgery was successful, he felt relieved. But suddenly, a car slammed into him. 2 men with knives got out. After checking the diamond was safe, they tried to kill him. As one prepared to stab him again, headlights appeared. They fled. The car belonged to his former boss. They never intended to let him live. He was left alone in the cold night, waiting to die. Emma's surgery was successful, but she wasn't happy. Weeks passed with no word from John. She went to the police, but they said there wasn't enough evidence. Their home was also under threat of demolition. Emma was afraid John wouldn't find her if he returned. Then, one day, she received a package. Inside was the hair clip John had given her. Following the address, she found a nursing home and met the man from the accident. He told her everything that had happened that day. Emma was shocked by the truth. The man she loved was the one who caused her tragedy. She didn't know she should hate him. But in the end, her love for John was stronger than her hate. Missing him, she let go of the past. Back home, she tried to sculpt his face from memory. But no matter how hard she tried, she failed. 2 years passed. Emma's flower shop became very popular. She was pretty and capable, attracting many suitors. But she politely refused every one. Her heart was already full of John. There was no room for anyone else. On holidays, she volunteered at the nursing home. Having been through hardship, she wanted to help others. While massaging a resident, Emma caught John's attention. He turned and looked. Seeing her, his eyes instantly filled with tears. All his pent-up longing came rushing back. He forced himself to look away. Then, Emma walked straight towards him. John stayed silent, afraid she'd recognize him. Feeling her familiar massage technique, he couldn't stop crying. He tightly clutched the pebble that symbolized their love, scared she'd see it. Emma seemed to sense something. She looked up at his name tag. It wasn't John. She thought it was just her imagination, missing him too much. After Emma left, John could finally relax his grip on the pebble. The person he dreamed of every day was right there, but he couldn't reveal himself. Perhaps this is the greatest tragedy. 2 months later, John's health improved. One day, while Emma was out, he sneaked in to get his pet turtle. On his way back, he bumped into her dog. Even face to face, he didn't dare speak. He tried to leave, but Emma stopped him. She offered to walk him home, but he refused. Just then, the dog started barking fiercely. John was already crying uncontrollably. He knew this was their final goodbye. To not disrupt her life, he decided to leave the city for good. Back at the shop, Emma noticed the turtle was gone. Her assistant mentioned a limping man had been there. The dog was still barking at the door. Suddenly, Emma realized something, her eyes filling with tears. She finally understood. The man she had been searching for was right beside her, and she had failed to recognize him twice. She desperately ran outside. But no matter how hard she looked, that familiar figure was gone. She drove to the hospital, only to learn John had been discharged weeks ago. Emma was speechless. Would she really never see him again? Then she thought of a place, the golden field where they had promised their lives to each other. And John was indeed there. He released his little turtle by the lake. The old broken tree had been replaced by 2 benches. He gently touched the braille engraved on the table. It was a message, hoping for John to come home. Emma felt the shocking scars on John's face. She knew he had become like this for her. You were the light in my darkest time. Now I will repay that kindness 1,000 times over. Even if our time together was short, that single moment has captivated me forever. Even if the world ends, nothing can separate us now. In this moment, my world is only you.